Hello everyone. This is the 4th video in our 7-part series, Signs That You Are Ready to Get Married. And today is number 4, and that is you and your partner have similar goals. So we're going to be talking about goals and values and all of that in this video. So stay tuned.
I'm Jay, this is Krista. We're going to Say I Do Forever, and we are ready to talk about you and your partner sharing similar goals.
Yeah, and we are on location here in Sun Valley, Idaho, Ketchum, Idaho.
That's a good way to put it, on location.
We're on location.
All we need is a big mic.
We're actually been hanging out here this weekend and just kind of enjoying the week, enjoying some quiet time with just Jay and I. Time to get away from all the stresses, let the water wash away everything. Yeah. And we just decided, hey, if we're here, let's stay here and do some videos. Yeah. So we're doing our videos on location this week. Yeah.
It's a lot more fun out here than, back at the house where eventually the videos for all of winter are going to be at the house. Yeah. More than likely in the house with the heater on. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get as much outdoor that we can before the lockdown. Not the pandemic lockdown, the
weather
winter
is cold lockdown.
Yeah, don't want to go anywhere.
But Krista and I, it was interesting a little bit ago, Krista and I were talking about how, the river represents marriage. The water being like marriage, and the rocks being like the problems or issues with marriage. The water, how did you put it? The water's ever changing.
Well, we started to look at the river, and we've come to this same location many years. Here and there, we'll just come sometimes if we have a stressful week. Yeah. And buy a little Ben and Jerry's ice cream on our way up here and bring our little camping chairs, and we might just do nothing but just sit and watch the river. And it's a time of refreshing and all of that. But we've come to this same location, the same spot, but it always looks a little different. Like the edges or the shore has changed just a little bit, and the river's either farther in or all the way up where we're sitting. Sometimes it's all the way up here. Yeah. So every year it kind of looks a little different. And we were saying how, I think you said, but that river, it's always constant. Yeah. It's always going in the same direction. It always is at full force. There's always rapids right there. Yeah. So no matter if the edges change a little bit, the shoreline changes a little bit. And we started thinking about our Wednesday video and about you newlyweds or oldyweds, if you're watching this and you're an oldywed, and how marriage has a lot of seasons and has a lot of storms, and you never know one year to the next if there's going to be a flood year, a drought year, if there's going to be lightning that takes down some trees which block the water. But yet this river, through all of that, continues, and the way it continues is that the river is like the values and the goals you set with your spouse. Not so much the little goals, because you can have little goals, and those are those yearly goals, like this year I want to plant a garden. This year I want to, those are going to change. This year we need to do more camping. This year we need to ours was play tennis. Those little goals are going to change depending on the seasons of your life, right, and depending on the storms in your life. If you have a lot of storms in your life that year, or they throw a COVID year in there somewhere, you're not going to get to do all the camping you wanted to, or all the traveling you were planning. So those little plans and those little things will change. But the true values and the goals that you set long term, those are going to remain and stay constant in your marriage. And that's where you want to keep a consistency.
It reminds me of that sign we have in our front room. What is the saying?
Plans change. something, if it's not working out, you can change the plans, but never change the goal.
Yeah. Your goal needs to be, the main goal needs to stay constant, kind of like this river.
Yeah.
You know, the rocks are the obstacles in your marriage, and you need to keep flowing with the water, and you need to just keep driving forward, and you need to keep pressing on through hard parts of your marriage. And don't lose hope, don't lose, you know, faith and strength in your marriage, because you can make it through the difficult, rocky spots in your marriage.
And the shorelines are going to change.
Yeah.
The shorelines are going to change.
But that doesn't mean you're to lose hope.
No, don't lose hope. And so the whole point of this video in this 7-part series was all about you and your future spouse, or if you've been married for a little bit, your spouse now, sitting down once a year, and if you're not married, especially before you do get married, and asking yourself some deep questions, asking yourself, what are your core values? What's important to you? What is family time important? Is building a family important? Or do you want kids? Or maybe you don't want kids. Have you discussed that with your future spouse, with your fiance? What are some other
well, you got to be on the same page. I mean, and I've said this before, that you got to be on the same page. You know, you're not going to go into marriage. Well, I would hope that you would go into marriage with unrealistic expectations.
I think most people do.
Well, I mean, like over the top, ridiculous, realistic expectations.
It would help a lot if you have realistic expectations.
Well, in at least, you know, some of the same goals. That's why we do goal setting. You know, it's important that you do that. Yeah. You know, where do you guys see yourself a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You know, what do you both believe?
That's critical.
What do you both believe? You know, we've seen couples that, you know, oh, well, he's this and I'm that, and it's like, it's not going to work out. And sure enough, 6 months, a year down the road,
super hard if you have
divorce.
Different religious beliefs. So have you sat down with your spouse? And now some of that's going to change. Sometimes it changes, just like the shore changes. But you need to have good communication so you can keep that constant going.
Right.
But, you know, what are your beliefs, like religious beliefs? What are your financial beliefs? Believe it or not, you have a belief. You have a belief either for saving
or spending. Or spending it all. Or
for giving away. What are some of those things that are important to you? Yeah. And have you shared those with your future spouse or your spouse? If you can honestly say you've sat down and you've discussed all of the different things, there's a really good book I hand out to all of my brides, and I've done it since 2018. It's called Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts. If you contact us, we can send you one. We'll end up putting an email down in the description, and we'll also put our goal setting video down in the description. An important one that we talk about how to set goals. But this book, How to Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts, goes through 7 questions that you need to discuss with your spouse before you get married, and then kind of hashing through that. It doesn't matter if you and your spouse's marriage looks different than everybody else's, just as long as the two of you guys have the same values and the same goals. So some of those places have you talked about where you'd like to live down the road? Where have you always dreamed? So if you have always dreamed to be on a farm, and your spouse or your future spouse has always dreamed to be in the big city on Wall Street, there's going to be some conflict down the road. Somebody's going to have to do some compromising. So finding out where you've always dreamed of living is a good one. How many kids do you plan on having?
Yeah, we compromised on the kid thing. We definitely compromised on the child thing.
Yeah.
I wanted 10 kids. Krista wanted none.
0. So
she compromised, and we had 2.
We had
and then
2,
we adopted
and then,
one. Now we have 3. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. So I think that's a good compromise. I feel like it scaled more towards my direction.
Yeah, I think compromise would have been 5 or 6 kids, but...
So there is a way to work out if you have different ideas.
We made it work.
And compromise is it. If
Yeah.
you have different ideas on some things, are you willing to compromise?
Yeah.
Or are these things so deep in you that you don't want to compromise? Where do you see yourself in the future other than just a place to live? Do you see yourself on Wall Street? Do you see yourself traveling all over the place, but your spouse or your future spouse doesn't like to travel?
Or where you guys grew up, do you see yourselves as a couple moving to another state or to another country or whatever? Have you discussed that with your spouse? You know, I think you're going to have a lot of pushback if you haven't discussed that with your spouse. So that's definitely a important one to talk about.
So definitely, and I wish I would have brought that book up here. We came up here kind of last minute and ended up staying here. And
maybe we can do a short on it.
Yeah, we'll have to do something on the 7 chapters. But I know finances are one of them. I know like parenting. Parenting is super important. Parenting, like what's your parenting style?
Yeah, do you put little Jimmy in the corner for a timeout? Or do you have the structural discipline? Or
these are things that you might argue about.
How do you deal with your kid being bad?
But so way before you get married, way before you even have children, it's a good idea to be discussing a plan for all these things. You'll have it'll go a lot smoother. I'm not saying, storms are going to come. Floods are going to come, droughts are going to come, they're going to move your shores, they're going to shift your rocks. Not everything's going to be the way you planned it to be. But if you had some core values and some understanding and some compromise between you, you could have that constant flow, that thing you can count on. You can have that forever.
Yep.
Say I do, forever.
Forever. It's not just till next year.
And then also, I think an important thing in that is not comparing your relationship to other people's relationship.
And we've said that a lot in the past videos. I don't know how many, but you guys know, any of you that have watched our videos in the past, we've said that many times.
Yeah, if you're a couple that wants to live tiny in a tiny house, and the 2 of you and all your friends live in a big old mansion houses, you be you. If you want to travel the world in a van or travel the world to see everything, or if you want to be homesteaders, or if you want to have the cute little 2.5 children family, if you want to do that, then do that. If you want to, just don't fit into a cookie cutter of everybody else you've seen.
Yeah. If you want to be like Jess and Jeremiah on Roots and Refuge.
I love them.
Yeah, we watch them faithfully. Every couple days they post a new video, and we love watching them.
Yeah.
And Logan, actually. We watch him. He's a younger kid.
Mason, right?
Logan, no, it's not Mason.
Sorry, Logan.
Yeah, sorry, Logan. We actually see you're commenting on
we can see it
on your picture on the top right hand of my phone.
No, I love watching his channels. We will put
Logan
it in the
awesome.
description. We'll link it.
Yeah, Logan is a great kid. He's about to embark on missionary lifestyle in Malawi, Africa. So he definitely
Isn't it Morgan?
will.
Logan Morgan. No. Sorry.
We'll put the correct
Sorry,
name.
Logan.
Sorry, Logan. Krista keeps trying. But,
well, I have him on autoplay, so I don't have to worry about looking him up anymore.
He's a great kid, and we love watching his videos.
We'll link it.
He has little, short little clips, videos, and he has a lot of things to say and
ponder. Great
things to ponder and think about, about your relationship with God and what the Bible says about the way you live and everything else. So it's great. Yeah.
So whatever you as a couple, you guys discuss it. You guys communicate. You guys come up with your core values and your core goals in life. And then, you know, the little goals and little plans, let them move with the seasons. Let them move with the storms, with the floods. Let them move, you know, and then just keep that constant of your values.
Yep.
So, yeah, and don't compare, and that's all I have to say. This clear air has made me want to take a nap.
Isn't that insane? We come up here and it's so relaxing and fresh air, and it's awesome. Mm-hmm. So with that, we are Jay and Krista, helping you say I do forever. And until next time, we'll see you guys.
See you.
And thanks for visiting with us while we are sitting by the Big Wood River. See ya.
See ya.